Oh.
Today we are going to do a small session on Upapada and marriage. This is in continuation with our series, the session on marriage we are having on Saturday and Sunday. This coming Saturday and Sunday at 11 o'clock. Not Sunday and Monday, but it is Saturday and Sunday. Yes, sir, we can start.
Morning, press. Ganana Ganabhutigum Havamahe Kavim Kavina Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashanvanodi the Sadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebir Vajini Vadi Vinamavatrayavadu Ganeshaya Maha Saraswati Namaha Sri Gurupyo Namaha Hari Om Purbhavasava. That's up to Margo Devasadi Indian opportunity. Aditya Isomaya Manklaya Budacha Guru Shukrasani Besara Kedvenama. Hi everybody.
I would request those who can come on screen with their cameras on, please come. Everyone shuts off their cameras. Let's see all.
Okay, this is a very important concept. Last time we just did an introduction of what we'll be doing. The one aspect, see, we know the Parashari aspect, how important is 7th house for married life, 8th house is married life. Then the secondary house is second house, and each other houses are very important. Most important, we know how important is the 7th house. Mostly everything we'll be seeing from the 7th house. But I do not know. Jaimini goes on to a stretch to give importance not for the 12th house, but to the extension of the 12th house. The pada of the 12th house is as important as the 7th house of marriage. Even see, there is something called Dharapada or A7. He does not give much importance to that, though he uses it for just for extramarital, premarital, or too much of love, only for those aspects. So the pada of the 7th house does not say much about marriage. It just says for some extra factors about marriage. But the 12th house, he takes it very much for married life. Like he goes on to say the looks of the wife, the family of the wife, the education of the wife, the longevity of the married life. So it is like about the wife, and the longevity of the marriage life is very much seen from the not the 12th house, the pada of the 12th house. I thought we'll give an introduction. Why 12th house is taken? Let's see some analysis. See, 12th house, we all know, the pleasures the bed or whom we share the bed with. So 5th house is the house of romance. So if a malefics in the 12th house is like it is in the 12th, 8th from the 5th house. So naturally it is bad for romance or love. So malefic like Saturn, Mars, and Ketu can be very bad for sharing the bed. 12th house can also mean secret relationships. You could always see, I've seen many charts, we'll be seeing many charts, Rahu, Venus, Mars, Venus, Venus, Moon, or Mercury, Moon. If it is in the 12th house or the 8th house, you can see people having a lot of secret relationships. This is, you will see it in many examples I'll show you when we're discussing about this aspect. Nicha plan in the 12th house can be very bad, especially Shukra Nicha or Mars Nicha in the 12th house can be very bad as far as conjugal happiness is concerned. So let's see why 12th house becomes very important. 3rd house is the house of one's libido, and 12th is the 10th from the 3rd, meaning the karma of one's libido. 12th is the 6th from the 7th. So it's a 5 house of the 7th, or the opposition of conjugality in a relationship. 12th is 9th from the 4th house. So the happiness and peace, that is the Ketu, Saturn, Mars, Ketu, these opposite planets can be very bad in the 12th house or in the 6th house. So the 12th from Lagna and Venus, it's just not 12th from the Lagna. The 12th from Moon, 12th from Venus can be very, very bad. And most of sannyasis, you will see the 12th from Venus very seriously afflicted, or the 12th from Moon being very seriously afflicted. Saturn, Ketu, and Nicha planets in the 12th house will show sannyas. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rahu are generally not supposed to be a problem for as far as married life is concerned, because they are supposed to assist in marriage. See, this is just an introduction, just to tell you why 12th house becomes very, very important for married life. I've seen many horoscopes, 7th house will not be very much afflicted, Shukra is not afflicted, but just two, three planets in the 12th house is enough to have a married life very, very bad. So this is one thing about 12th house. We'll be discussing it in the course, completely scientific horoscope, when 12th house can be very important for married life. But this is one step ahead you'll have to understand is Upapada Lagna. Apada or Pada is nothing but a manifestation of a particular house. It's not that only the 12th house has an extension. All the 12, excuse me, somebody can mute it. This is disturbing. Hello, can I mute it, please? Some audio disturbances.
Mute your mics when you enter. Okay, sir gets disturbed.
Okay.
Keep your mics on mute, everybody.
So that Upapada is the manifestation of the 12th house. So it is like more than what the 12th house can mean for marriage. Usually 12th house does not show the quality of the spouse, or the longevity of the spouse is not seen from the 12th house. Yes, it is a house of bed pleasure. So your private life. So any malefics there can mean something regarding a private life. But excuse me, somebody is or audio, please. Can you mute it? Okay, so the what do you say? The manifestation of 12th house goes a little more bigger. It goes to talk about your wife, the character of the wife, the family she comes from, the background she comes in, her nature, quality, everything is seen from the Upapada Lagna. And not only that, the longevity is also seems to be seen from the Upapada. Let's see. I've just taken, before we actually, I go more by example horoscopes than giving too much of theory. So just before that, I'll just give a bit of theory. This is a summary or culmination from the Jaimini Sutras, summarized to give you what all is mentioned in the Jaimini Sutras about Upapada and marriage. See, the pada of the 12th house is the Upapada. The 12th house is about giving, and the UL shows somebody is, you have to mute your things. A lot of noise is happening. When I ask a question, you'll unmute. Is it my thing or some other noise is coming? Okay.
Sir, it's from your end.
Really?
Everyone's mute.
Okay, yeah. Okay, 12th house is about giving, and the UL shows who will give you yourself the most. Upapada tells about, see, it's not, Upapada is not about only marriage. According to Gemini, it is about children and the removal of ancestral debts. So these three things is a sloka which defines Upapada. It says Upapada tells about marriage, tells about children, and the removal of ancestral debt. So UL shows all about marriage. So second marriage is seen in the 8th from the UL, and the third marriage is seen from the 8th, and it goes on and on. So Upapada, apart from Parasara tells the 7th house is for marriage. According to Jaimini, it is the Upapada which tells two things: the background and the quality of and the longevity of the marriage. And we are not going to children and removal of ancestral debt. We are only talking about marriage. Okay, so see, the Dharapada tells about relationship, but the UL tells about matured relationship, which will ripen into marriage. Flirtatious, just crushes, your infatuations, all can be seen from the Dharapada, or the manifestation of the 7th house, the D7 which goes. But a very deep, committed, serious relationship, when one is approaching that, which will go into marriage, we're thinking about marriage and moving into it, it is the Upapada which tells about it. See, multiple marriages can be seen from the 6th from the UL. So, okay, the basics, usually the thing is, when the UL is joined by benefic planets, it's very good for the married life, the relationship of in married life, or how the wife looks, the background, and what I say, everything about the partner. If malefic joins the UL, relationship is bad, or the background, if she comes bad, and many things, her education, her family, everything could be difficult. So the first rule is benefic UL must be in good houses, not in 6-8, cannot be in 6-12 houses. So it should not be Nietzsche with malefics, not connected with malefics. If it is in good houses, in a trine, in a Kendra Kona, or in a benefic sign associated with benefics, it can be very good. A strong UL, again, next point afterwards, a strong UL. A strong UL brings a good spouse. An exalted, suppose according to Gemini, it brings about multiple marriages also. A debilitated UL, a planet in the UL can be very, very bad. So the strength, next after that, the strength and association of the UL shows the quality, longevity and the nature of the married life. According to Gemini, two things. First, the UL alone is analyzed, and then it is the second of from the only 2 points he's saying: the UL, the second from UL, and the seventh from UL. Now he does not talk about the other houses from the UL. I judge the UL, the second from the UL, and the seventh from the UL. The Gemini does not have any. Maybe we can find out if there is a meaning to the eighth from UL or anything. But this is where the UL falls, especially where the UL falls from the Lagna and the Aruda Lagna. From the Lagna where it falls, it cannot fall in the 6th and 12th. It can fall in the 8th, or it can fall in a Badaka set. Okay. Then UL is taken as Lagna, and all the planets from UL are judged for relationship and marriage. The second and seventh, I already told you. So benefics in the second will be very nourishing and strengthening the marital bond, while malefics can cause serious challenges. Second from UL must be well placed for a happy and long relationship. So it is very, very important. The UL's Lord should also be strong. The UL Lord should not be in 6, 8, 12 or Nietzsche with malefics. And the second from the UL also must have good planetary association, must not have a malefic planetary association. So if benefics are there, the second from UL is supposed to be the longevity of a marriage. So if it is a divorce, if it is a widow, or if a relationship is going to end, the second house from UL is the most. The characteristics and the harmony of the married life is the UL. The second is the longevity of the married life. So this is the most important, is very, very, in fact, most of the slokas in Gemini is only about the second. 2 or 3 slokas just talk about the 7th house. So in case if there are malefic a 7th from the UL, it can be bad for the married life. So there are other 2, 3 other rules which he says. We will go. I'm just mentioning what is in the Gemini first. Then in practice, when we see the horoscope, let's see what actually happens. Gemini, if it is the UL or the second from UL, supposed to give many relationships and spouses. But I've seen if it is there with Saturn and Ketu, it gives no marriage also. Okay, joining the second, one more important rule from Gemini, where's the big hint on analyzing UL is, Upapada is, if AK joins the second from the UL, the second part of one's married life can be bad. First half is okay. So somewhere the AK must not join the second from UL. Sun is not considered as a malefic as far as what I say being in the Upapada Lagna or in the second from. But Sun is there with Mars or Saturn, K, then it's different. Sun alone will not be a problem. The worst I think is Rahu, Saturn, and Mars and Ketu. What I say, Rahu may not be a problem separately, but if it is there with Saturn, it can be a bad problem. So it's malefics, Nietzsche planets, can be a very big problem. So before we go to the example charts, anybody has any doubts, just tell me. Then we'll go to just an introduction to what is the 12th house and what is an Aruda Lagna. Any doubts before that? Then we'll go and actually see with example charts.
Sir, if Rahu has aspect of Saturn, then
That's very bad, no? The worst can be what I say, the in example charts, we'll know easily. The worst can be Ketu sitting in Upapada Lagna or second from Upapada. Marriage delay will be caused if Saturn is sitting in the Upapada Lagna or second from it. Rahu can cause scandal, especially Rahu with Venus and Rahu with Moon can cause many relationship or a scandal. Usually Jupiter is very good. Venus alone and strongly placed, yes, it gives a very, very good married life. Even Moon is okay. Yes, it depends. Moon, it depends if it is Saturn's house and Mars house. Moon can also be trouble.
Sir, can we see aspects on Rasi Drishti or Graha Drishti also on Upapada Lagna or second house from
You can see both. In just Gemini, definitely we'll have to see Rasi Drishti.
Okay. Primary importance for Rasi Drishti or
No, Graha Drishti, both is applicable. Today we'll be discussing 7 charts, but in class we'll be discussing 75 charts, and all the 75 charts will be also seeing very strongly Upapada. Apart from Parasri rule, we'll be looking at Dharapada also. We'll be looking how important is the Dharakaraga, Dharapada and Upapada, apart from the Parasri normal rules, what all the Karagas to see for marriage. But here in this, we're just looking at how important is Upapada alone for marriage. It's very, very important. Sometimes most of the charts, yes, 7th house will be clear. But sometimes something very, very important, why I wanted to take this separately is, sometimes the 7th house is not bad. 7th house is quite good, but still married life is bad. That is if you misreading the Upapada Lagna. So the Upapada and the second from Upapada and 7th from Upapada is the most important thing to be seen. I've seen Upapada or the second. Most of the unmarried charts, sannyasi's chart, 90% Upapada will be afflicted, or the Upapada will be very auspicious. What I say, either Jupiter or is sitting there. What I say, either Saturn, Ketu is there, or Jupiter's influence is very strong in sannyasi's horoscope. Here I have one horoscope example. In class, we'll be seeing more than 3 or 4 sannyasi horoscope. Unmarried, invariably, you will see the same combination. Saturn, Ketu, or Mars influencing Upapada, second from Upapada. Not one, two malefics are afflicting it. What happens is already the 7th house is afflicted. You have Venus is getting afflicted, or Mars is weak. And then you also have your Upapada also afflicted. It will become more clear. Upapada itself can be very, very bad, even if the 7th house or Shukra is not afflicted. In that case, when Upapada will do that much damages, when the affliction is very severe. It is not just one single planet will not do a damage. It will be 2 planets which are doing the damage. Yeah. Tell me, any other doubts? Okay, we'll just go into the charts, then only I'll understand it better. With charts is always better than any amount of theory will not do anything. Okay, this is Swami Narasimha Bharati. This chart. Okay, I think you all must tell me before. This is Upapada is falling in Cancer. Okay, it is in Pavakatri. I'm not going to see any other aspects of why is a sannyasi or anything, or the 7th house, why is there are other rules there. Just look at the thing. It's just what I said, Upapada Lord is in Pavakatri. So there are the main planet, Saturn is behind it, Ketu is in front of it. That's all. In fact, the 7th Lord from Upapada is in the 12th house. Okay, any doubts on this? If you want to look at the Navamsa, what I say, you can see the Upapada is there where Ketu is sitting down. Okay, but I'm just keeping myself now just for the to understand the seriousness. Okay, any doubts on this? You know why is a sannyasi? See, for a sannyasi, it is typically Saturn, Ketu, Jupiter. These 3 will dominate the horoscope. Here he has what I say. There are reasons for a sannyasi. There are many, but here, why somewhere Upapada must have the influence of Saturn, Ketu. The Upapada Lagna is surrounded by Saturn, Ketu. Okay,
Sir,
there are
here
yeah.
moon, the Upapada Lord is looking at its own house, so that does
Yes.
not give any benefit.
No, it is not doing any benefit here, because moon is in the house of Saturn. And the disposer where moon is sitting, Saturn is in the 6th from itself and is 12th from Upapada Lagna. That's a good question. But look at where the 2nd from moon is already Sun and Rahu sitting. Behind it, Mars is sitting. And moon by itself is sitting in Saturn's house. Okay. Okay, let's see some much more easier one. This is, I think, I should have given you the first one directly into it. Okay, look at this. This is an unmarried chart. Okay, forget about this. Already I've discussed in the. I didn't tell you all the main rule. See this horoscope. If you do not take Upapada Lagna, you cannot tell this lady is unmarried. Tell me, 7th Lord is exalted. Seventh, though Mercury is the seventh, the eighth lord in the seventh house, it's a benefic. She has Jupiter in the fourth house. Why is she unmarried? Tell me, why is she unmarried? Forget about Upada. Tell me Parasari rule why this lady is unmarried. I can tell me why from just think. Anybody can tell me?
Yes, sir. Sir, seventh lord, 11th to itself shows many expectations regarding marriage.
Yeah, expectation. Why is she unmarried?
So she is expecting more and can't able to find it.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay, just see, seventh lord is exalted, especially with the moon. It can give seventh from the moon, Ketu's there. Okay, that can be a reason. Navamsa also just go to the Upapada Lagna and see what is sitting in Upapada Lagna. Saturn, Mars, and Upapada Lagna. Second to it is Ketu. 3 malefics sitting in the Upapada Lagna. I think this I should have put as a horoscope. How will she get married? See the affliction. See how important it is. If you only see Parasari 7th house or Shukra, you will miss something. You can only, if you see Upapada Lagna, you can understand it correctly. When Saturn, Mars is sitting, you will see many horoscopes. I have one combination when this Saturn, Mars and Sun were in Kataka. I've seen many horoscopes when the Upapada Lagna will fall where Sun and Mars is. None of them got married. So when the Upapada Lagna, it is seated by 2 malefics, Saturn Mars, Mars Ketu, Rahu Mars, Rahu Saturn, or you have to be very, very sure the married life can be very bad. See here, the 7th lord is exalted. The 7th house or the 8th house, which is usually bad. The usual rule for married life is 2nd, 7th, 8th is bad. Shukra bad. The Shukra is not bad, 7th is not bad, 8th is not bad, 2nd is not bad. The only thing is Upapada alone is afflicted. It's not the Upapada alone is afflicted by 1 planet, 2 planets, and second to it is Ketu. If you want to understand a little more, you want to understand Upapada, the 7th lord goes 8th from moon, Venus, moon, Rahu, and the 8th from it. Usually, Jaimini does not talk about these rules. He just hints 2 rules. The afflictions to Upapada, the 2nd to Upapada, and 7th to Upapada. All the rules only fit into this. And the only sign he talks about is Jaimini. Jaimini says Upapada is related to it, will give multiple effects. He does not talk about any other signs. He leaves everything else for us to discover.
Sir, here Saturn's retrogression make any role or not?
It can make it worse. Saturn retrogression will make it triple strong, no?
Okay, sir.
So this chart, very importantly, I put it because what I say, Parasari, in case Parasari, there are 2 malefics in the 7th lord in 6, 8, 12, 7th house Nicha. And then I also show Upapadas having 2 malefics, then it's not clear. Here, according to Parasari rule, marriage must be there, especially if it's a 7th lord and the 5th is Venus, Moon, Rahu means multiple relationship. I know this lady very, very much. She's been a virgin all through her life. She's a very, very good spiritual lady. She's in politics. So not just unmarried, she has never had any relationships also. So this Venus, Moon, Rahu never gave any relation. So because when you see anybody with Venus, Moon, Rahu, Venus, it's multiple affairs. It's a typical. But first see the UL. If with the VL Saturn, Mars, 7th to it is Jupiter is sitting down. No, there's no affairs at all, no relationship at all in the whole of it. Okay. Okay. See this one.
Sir,
Yeah.
what about the your Lord exalted Sun?
Where it is exalted?
Even your Lord.
In the 6th, in the 6th house.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
As per some of the Gemini decans, if Upapada Lagna Lord is exalted, they will get a bride or bridegroom from a high status family like that.
Yes, that is when the Upapada Lagna is not afflicted.
Okay.
If the Upapada has Saturn and Mars and then it exalted, it will go for waste.
Okay.
So in case if the Upapada did not have Saturn and Mars and Upapada Lagna is exalted, see a relationship will come from a higher status or a rich family or comes from a very good background, it will be there. Here, what happens? Saturn, Mars are sitting on it. So the meaning of the Upapada goes waste. The only thing, maybe she was exalted. She was never crying. She never wanted to get married. The desire for marriage was never there. It's not like she wanted, delayed, and it never got married. Then she was. It was never that way. She never decided to get married. The three sisters, and all three are not married. We will discuss all the three charts, and all are very, very similar pattern.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is, see, another important thing. Widowed in Mars Dasa. Seventh Lord is exalted. Venus is strong. Okay. Why this person is okay, widowed in Mars Dasa? So it's quite early. If you look at the horoscope, the UL falls in Leo, which is the 8th house with Ketu aspected by Mars. This is what, see, very, very important. If this chart shows no widowhood from the Parasari aspect. If it was Rahu Dasa or Ketu Dasa, okay, so she marriage duos, okay, Ketu in this 8th house is bad. With Mars aspect is definitely bad. I'm not saying anything. It gets worse is because it is the UL. UL falls in the 8th house is bad. It has Ketu there is another bad. Then because Ketu there means Rahu also influences. It has Mars also there. So if this, we can clearly say this is widowed. Remember this role. UL falling the 8th house with Rahu, Ketu, Mars, Saturn connection is bad for married life. But if it has a Mars, widowhood will only come if Mars connection must be the Mars and Ketu for widowhood. So you have Ketu there with Mars aspect in a fire sign. Here also you have the UL Lord exalted. Okay. See, this is all very, very important, clear cut. There are some tough horoscopes. First, the 7 horoscopes where I make it very, very important for you. When the Parasari role does not show break, but only if you apply the UL Lord, you will understand how important. You cannot jump to analyze without the UL aspect. So important is the UL.
Sir, before going to critical charts, I want to ask one more question. This is also from Gemini Sutras only. See, as per him, marriage has to be seen from Upapada Lagna. Sustenance of the marriage has to be seen from second lord or second house from Upapada. But this marriage is breaking. There is no connection with respect to second house like Mercury and Mars.
So wait, it not that way. See, the second house is a support. See, it is not like Parasari. The second house is for the longevity. If benefics are there, it supports, because why second house? Why he says second house is for the sustenance or the longevity of the marriage. Any bhava which is second to it nourishes or nurtures that particular bhava. If malefics are there, it kills the bhava. If benefics are there, it strengthens the bhava. That's the spirit. But you have to take. See, how much is Lagna? For for a longevity of a person, what you take? Lagna, no? Lagna is the most important. So it is Upapada. If it's very seriously afflicted, that itself is enough for for the destruction of that particular bhava. If the second house is supported by benefics, it strengthens. If malefics are there, it dampens. But the second house is not equally important. The Upapada is only the most important. Even if you want me to tell, okay, why second house has no problem, the second lord is in the 8th from the second house with 2 malefics. And the second lord is with 3 malefic association, Sun, Saturn and Ketu. Either you can take the trine from Ketu or you can take the Rasi aspect. The second lord is with Sun, Saturn, Mercury. So even if you want to see why second lord is not afflicted, second lord is afflicted. It's 8th from itself with 2 malefics with Ketu aspect. Okay. It's not just Ketu. Rahu, Ketu, both are aspecting Mercury. Mercury, second lord is with 2 malefics with Rahu, Ketu aspect. The only good aspect is Jupiter's aspect. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a person who married an important person and then divorced shortly. Okay, what does the chart show? Okay, at least this chart, okay, Parasari wise, Rahu Mas in the seventh lord in the sixth, Shukra in the 12th. So it's already shows a very bad married life. But why important? Of all the thing, why important? Why she had to marry? They can marry, could be very, very different references. Just see the same thing. The Upapada falls in the 8th house. I think Upapada falling in fiery houses seems to be quite bad. With Ketu, with Mars aspect. Okay. And Saturn is Nietzsche Saturn is also aspecting it. So when you have Saturn, Rahu, Mars, Ketu on the Upapada Lagna. So what is a she came to me with this problem. It's long back. She should be married later. But I'm just telling you why this problem went on to be. It's this, at least the previous charts, the Parasari role is the Parasari, yes, she has other weakness in the chart. 7th lord is afflicted, Venus in the 12th house is strong, Sarpa and Mangalya Guja dosha is there. But it could mean many things. Why it is important? Because Ketu is for the, either it is a sannyasi, you become a sannyasi if other aspects are strong. If Ketu comes, it's definitely negation of your marital pleasures. And especially in a fire sign, Ketu sitting in the 8th house. So this is very, very important. Anybody having Upapada falling in the 8th house can be very bad. Upapada will not fall in the 6th and 12th. So the only worst house Upapada can be the 8th house. The 6th and 12th houses are its own houses, reflection houses. So it will never fall in the 6th or 12th. So it will only fall in the worst house. Upapada can be the 8th house. Okay. Any doubts on this? Okay, this is a chart, an important chart. Okay, marrying and importance is different. The person itself is important. If I do not know, it's important is not that he cannot get a child, he lacks virility. Okay, you see this particular chart. Usually, Gemini rule is Upapada Lagna falling in Gemini can mean many relationships, but this is different. If it is influenced by malefic planets, it can just be the opposite. Again, Upapada Lagna falling in the 8th house with Mars aspect. And Saturn and behind it very, very close. And again, what I say, from Gemini, yes, we can say, from Parasari also, I think a bit we can say. The 7th and 8th house are having malefic. But this is more very, very clear. If you apply Upapada Lagna, it is about your, it is the manifestation of the 12th house. It's something very deep to do with your conjugal happiness. So Upapada Lagna, influenced by Ketu, Mars, Saturn, can be very bad for married life. Any doubts on this? How come all are very silent? You can ask me something about it. Are you all catching my point? I'll understand what I'm
Yes,
trying to
sir.
say.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's very important. So I've just picked up some very easy charts. Not all charts will be revealed. The most important charts will be we'll be discussing 7 charts, but will be 75 charts. I will be discussing on Saturday, and everything will be saying. So somewhere you can also apply what I say that the DK is very important. See the DK Mercury is debilitated. So where is the A7 falling? It's all very important. Tidhi Lord, all will play a role. The 7th Lord will play a role. Venus will play. Each planet has a role. But here we're just focusing, forget about all the other aspects, Parasari rules, all the other rules. Even Gemini itself says the 7th from AL can matter, the A7 can matter, the Upapada can matter for married life. But but the 7th from AL, I've brushed up anything. I'm just only analyzing this particular rule.
Sir, if DK is exalted, then
To compensate, yeah, but your DK's Mercury is debilitated. It's very good DK is exalted, but depends on where it's getting exalted. If DK is a malefic, you should know. With a Saturn, Mars, and Sun, DK must be friendly to the AK. They must not be 6, 8, 12 from each other. It must not be in 6, 8, 12 houses, it must not be maliciously concerned. So you must understand the meaning. Here, see, why this person is important person is first 8th Lord, for sexual pleasures is Nietzsche. And it itself becomes the decay also. But it is more, see, you can bring it down. You cannot say exactly this will be the problem. Just understand very clearly. UL is affected. UL is mostly has to do with your conjugal happiness. If UL falls in the 8th house with Ketu, you see all these 3 horoscopes they have picked up. Is what I say, either it is widowed or unmarried or important. These extremes you will see. So the worst position for an UL to be in the 8th house with Ketu, Mars, Saturn combination, or 2 of them is enough to destroy a married life. Even if you have other aspects, the 7th house being strike, Shukra being nice, also here you see already Shukra, Surya is never good for married life. This is bad. But they are not combust. Okay. This is Elizabeth Taylor's horoscope. I think I picked it up in the last, 8 marriages to 7 husbands. Okay. Just judge. Just judge UL, how it is. UL falls in the 10th house. Second to it as Ketu. 7th to UL has Mars, Sun, Mercury. There are people who have married more, but just this last minute I added just to give you one thing. What I say, an afflicted. This is not directly, there is UL does not have 2, 3 planets or malefics, but the 7th from it, 2nd from it. See, you look at the horoscope, 7th Lord exalted with Rahu in a dual sign. Yes, multiple relationships. Especially aspected by Jupiter, so many relationships she's got. It's very, very clear. Okay, but here, why so many marriages? Why nothing worked out? She went on to have break. The 7th, 2nd, and 7th from UL are having Mars, Sun, and 2nd to has a malefic. The 7th to it is also malefic. Okay, so see, I'm just showing you in 7 example horoscope how important is Upapada Lagna. If you leave out Upapada Lagna, you'll be missing a very, very important. Certain horoscopes, okay, you can see. Look at this horoscope and tell me, does it show 7 marriages? It's okay. Venus, Rahu, many relationship, okay, but does it show 7 marriages? 8 marriages? According to Parasari, without touching Upapada. You must have 2 malefics in the 7th or 8th for many marriages or many broken relationships. It is only explained from UL. Any doubts?
Sir, most of you have showed also have 7th Lord sitting in the 5th house, which you said is not a good sign.
Yes. 7th Lord in the 5th house can sometimes cause bad marriage. That is one very, very important rule we'll be discussing. Many other points. 7th Lord in the 5th is very bad for, I think, Baladipika or Saravali rule. Saravali rule is there. 7th Lord in the 5th is bad for marriage. But it is just not only that. One rule alone need not tell the whole thing, no? Usually it is a horoscope with Sun, Mars itself. There is a Tamil book which says Sun, Mars causes widowhood. I asked a question in VV, what is the combination of Sun, Mars? I did not go on to stretch what is the meaning. According to that classic, Tamil classic, which says is Sun and Mars together will cause widowhood. Mars with it is supposed to be the longevity of marriage for a female. So it's very, very important, Mars and its position of Mars to tell about a married life in a women's horoscope. It's definitely Mars is very important. Venus is important. Equally important will be Jupiter. The durability, the bonding, and the longevity of the married life, or if a person is going to be married, or the bhagya of marriage is in Jupiter. Shukra will tell about the happiness in married life. Somewhere the married life, it's not the Mars, I cannot say it is the longevity. Somewhere it is like the termination. Some view is Mars is supposed to be a brahmachari. So Mars, if it is in certain houses, can be actually very bad. Actually, I asked a question yesterday in VV, what is Goja Dosha? Anybody can tell me what is Goja Dosha? Anybody knows what's Guja dosha? See, according to the classic rule, Mars in the first house, second house, fourth house, seventh house, eighth house, 12th house, from the Lagna or the moon or Shukra causes Guja dosha. This is supposed to be the classical rule. It is 100% from Lagna, it is 50% from the moon, 25% from Shukra. And again, the quantum of dosha will vary. It is very mild in the 12th, 4th, and 2nd houses. 7th and 8th, it can be very strong. Then if it is exalted or an Icha or an enemy sign, the quantum of Dodha dosha will differ. But actually, this is not the meaning of Guja dosha fully. It is just one explanation of Guja dosha. Guja dosha actually means the strength, mass means what I say, the longevity of married life. If especially in a female's horoscope, if mass is weak, afflicted, itself can be bad. In a female's horoscope, let's say Mars is not in 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 12. It is in the 6th house. Mars is in the 6th house with Saturn and Ketu. There's no Guja dosha. Mars in the 6th, there's no Guja dosha. But Mars with Saturn and Ketu, will this be bad or good for a girl's married life? Tell me. Mars in the 6th house. Technically, no Guja dosha. I'll show you so many horoscopes. Just the affliction to Mars, not in any of these houses, will also go on to have a bad married life. So don't see only this rules 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 12 alone is not a definition of Guja dosha. A weak, afflicted Guja Mars can self be bad. And one more thing, Guja dosha in a man's horoscope describes him. Guja dosha in a female horoscope only, it describes her married life. Actually, if it is Guja dosha for a male, it should be Shukra dosha for a female, for a male. Shukra in the same affliction, in what I say, in the afflicted Shukra can be very bad for a male. Shukra afflicted in a female's horoscope describes herself, but a Mars afflicted, it depends on what. Some people go on to say, Nadi rule says it is Jupiter for male. Actually, Jupiter is common. Shukra and Jupiter are common. Jupiter is the durability, the dharma, and the bonding in married life. For marriage to sustain, the legality of the whole thing. You are living. You'll have a living relationship. Shukra is nice. What I say, but is it marriage? That Jupiter strength must be there. If you are living, if you have a 6, 8, 12 Jupiter, it's very difficult to get married. So Jupiter's importance is very, very important for a legally wed marriage. The pleasure of marriage, yes, Shukra is enough. Somewhere Mars is, what I say, it represents the male. So the happiness from a male for a what I say, a female's horoscope is very important. So naturally, it is not just Mars. She must also have a good Jupiter, because it is that male, what I say, translating it into a husband. So she must have a Mars and Jupiter good to have a marriage. And the happiness from the marriage must have a good Shukra also. Okay, we'll go more about into it in the class. Different variations. Any doubts on Upapada? We'll just this 7 important. We will have a 75 horoscope. We will see. We will have a look at it at the Dharakaraga of Gemini and the Dharapada together. We'll blend it with Parasri and let's blend it together. Here we only analyze no Parasri, only Upapada Lagna alone. We'll see it in detail. If anybody has any doubts?
Okay.
Yeah. We will see it in more deeper. It's just an introduction. I have more very interesting horoscopes also to be shown. How Upapada sometimes can, even if it's too beneficial, can be a problem for not being married. If you have to live a very pure life, sometimes I've seen Upapada with Jupiter's influence. What I say, it'll keep you very, very spiritual and not creating marriage. That's one side of it.
Sir, I have very limited knowledge about Gemini.
Yeah.
I'll not have problems while doing the course. Sir?
No, you need not know anything about Gemini. Why do you need to know? You need Dharakaraga, Dharapada. It's all there in the software. I'm not going to talk too deep Gemini rules at all. Only these things. Upapada, you don't even know where is Upapada. That's all. 2nd and 7th, Upapada must not be afflicted. The 2nd must not be afflicted. 7th must not be afflicted. That's all.
Okay.
For that, you don't need to know any complicated Gemini. See, the Darakaraka is the planet in the lowest degrees. We will have to analyze it, that's all. We will not be looking into too complex things. But these 3 points we are borrowing from Gemini because, what I say, something will go missing if you do not use these rules. Yes, some charts, 7th house, 8th house, Mangalistan is 8th, 7th is very important, 2nd is equally important. These 3 are very vital houses for marriage. Shukra is important, Mars is important, Jupiter is important. Sometimes moon will be very, very important. You'll look at some certain sannyasi's horoscope, it will neither be Mars, neither be Venus. Only moon will be important for why a person is a sannyasi. What I say? So each horoscope, it is slightly changed to understand the role of married life. In a sannyasi's horoscope, it's only moon, neither Venus, neither Mars.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
so is Rahu included in Darakaraka? Do we include Rahu Ketu in these?
If I don't take it, ma'am. 7 Karakas is enough.
Okay, sir.
Because I've tried many things with Rahu and without Rahu. I leave it to you to experiment also. So it's a personal perspective to do it. Some people say, Sanjay Rath says, yes, Rahu is there. K.N. Rao says no. Then I tried my own. Somewhere Rahu Ketu does not seem to fit. But what I do is, if Rahu is in the lowest degree, yes, I take. If it is as an Atma Karaka, I will just take. I will take it as a value. That's all. I don't understand the. I don't understand the logic. What I say? See, what is an Atma Karaka? A planet in the highest degree, right? 27, 28 degrees. Okay. Yes. If Rahu is in a sign, a planet which traverses the maximum is the Atma Karaka. Okay.
Yes.
What is the logic of what is a Rahu in 28 degrees and he becomes a
So
Darakaraka?
Rahu would be 0 degrees, 1 degree would be the
yes,
highest.
Why? If it is in 0 degrees,
always.
yes. If let me, but what is the logic? The logic is in a particular sign, a planet which has traversed the most. If it is gone 0 degrees, why will you call it? This is an interpretation. It is not in any classic which says 0 degrees Rahu degree must be the Atma Karaka. Tell me which book it is written that way. Rahu must be taken. Forget about Rahu could be included. Tell me the rule. If Rahu is at 0 degrees, it is because Rahu is in reverse, so it should be taken the reverse way. What is the logic? The logic of Atma Karaka is in a sign how much it has traveled the maximum. Rahu in 0 degrees is not traversed. Rahu has traversed, but in a sign it is only 0 degrees. No.
Right. Yeah.
So how will you interpret the rule? This is one person's interpretation. Everybody is trying to follow. It is not there in any classics.
Okay. And so what else? Another thing that I heard was, if there is a planetary war between 2 planets, only then we consider Rahu as Atma Karaka.
That will never happen because even up to seconds, there were those times when degrees was not used much. So maybe that rule can be done. Here we can, I think, minutes or the seconds or even minute, one planet will be definitely more powerful.
Right.
It is not that way. See, if you follow the rule Atma Karaka, Amitya Karaka, if you follow the role in 7 Karaka, it fits in very nicely. If you take Rahu as another Karaka, you will have to introduce one more Karaka called Pitru Karaka.
Okay.
What to say? You will have to introduce a new Karaka called Pitru Karaka. Now already the Atma Karaka rules the Lagna. And it's something like the 9th house. And Amitya Karaka is like the 10th house. And the Putra Karaka is like the 5th house. Now, if you say, if I add Rahu to it, Pitru Karaka means 9th house. But Pitru Karaka has no significance at all. Jaimini has not given one sloka to give the importance of Pitru Karaka. He is only told the importance of Atma, Amitya, Putra. All yogas are for, even Darakaraka has very, very important. He says the Nyati Karaka is bad, but he has never given one sloka for the importance of Pitru Karaka at all. Not a single sloka is there. Then if you introduce Rahu, where is Pitru Karaka? None of the Jaimini Sutra is missing at all. So I don't think so. It has a meaning, and you can easily see it without Rahu Ketu. The 7 Karakas will fit in very correctly, or it will confuse. You take which is the 8th Karaka. How do I interpret the Pitru Karaka? All that confusions will be there.
Yeah, got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody, any other doubts? Okay, we'll go more with the class. Got a lot very interesting charts I have. We'll discuss a lot about different varieties of horoscopes.
Yes. The recordings and the notes are sent after every class to each participant. Most of the time I'm getting these questions, though it is written in the flyers. The timings are mentioned, the fees are mentioned, everything is there. The early bird offer is over. We can no longer give it. Very sorry for that. People can still join in till tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.